This one book makes around $30,000 every single month on Amazon. Let's take a closer look. So this is a new series that I'm starting here on YouTube. I'm going to be looking at some of the best performing books across Amazon and looking at why I think they're doing so well and how much money they're making and anything that we can take as learning so that we can create better books and hopefully get better sales. Along the way, I'm hoping to find some interesting niches as well as pick up some tips and tricks to create better books. So to start with, seeing as I've talked about colouring books quite a lot on this channel, I thought that's a great place to start. So if I go across to Amazon and search for colouring books for adults, let's see what pops up first organically. So ignoring the sponsored products here, which takes up the first 4, this stress relief colouring book seems to be the #1 organic search result, and it's also a bestseller. So if we click on that, we can take a look at some more information. So this colouring book is a stress relief colouring book, and it was released in June of 2023. It's a #1 bestseller in mandalas and patterns, colouring books for grown-ups, which is a very broad genre. And if we scroll down, we can see some more information. So it's 106 pages, and across those 106 pages, it's got 60 colouring designs. It includes animals, landscapes, flowers, patterns, mushrooms, and more. So you can see the style that they went for this was a very varied and broad approach for colouring books for adults. It's a large book, so 8.5 by 11 inches. That tends to be the standard size for larger colouring books on Amazon. In terms of the description here on Amazon, it's quite minimal. And you can see the thing they're focusing on is the fact that it's a stress relief colouring book. So in terms of the front cover, it's a relatively basic front cover, to be honest with you. It does a good job from a distance, so you can see it's a stress relief colouring book. And the front cover looks like it's a colouring page already coloured in. So if you're creating colouring books, maybe try and think of representing your inside pages but in a coloured format for your cover. But the font's relatively straightforward. Yeah, and the designs, it's just clean and pretty simple. Taking a look at the back page, you can see some example designs that are inside. So looking here, the designs just look really clean and pretty straightforward. There's some quite interesting designs like this cat in a glass jar, which is quite fun. But the one thing that I'm noticing straight away is that there seems to be little to no shading. And so when I'm making colouring books, that's one thing that I try to reduce as much as possible as well, is trying to reduce the amount of shading to allow for a really good colouring experience. And that seems to be what they've gone for here as well. If we read a sample, we can see the first few pages. They've got a nice straightforward interior first page. And they've also got their branding here, which is Kite Fox Publishing. A little bit about them, and then an intro page where you can write your name. So when you're making your colouring pages, consider what you're having up front. It does make the book feel like it's a bit more professional when there's a few little intro pages up front, you know, introducing the book, and especially having an area to put your name is quite a nice little addition as well. And then finally on the preview, they have a test colouring page. After that, I'd assume they would go into the colouring pages. But on the preview, on the sample here, generally what they do is show a few pages. And so personally for me, what I like to do is make sure that my first colouring page appears in that preview so people can see exactly what type of book they're getting. So that's one way that I would improve this book, is remove one of those pages there and then make sure to have my first colouring page appear in the preview. Scrolling down, you can see the A+ content from the publisher. So they've got a very good branded section here, which I'd assume they have on all of their books. And then they've got 2 really nice hero banners here that showcase their book. So again, you can see a little bit more of their designs and how clean they are. And then they've got another banner here with further designs. And you can see there, they've actually got 12 of their 60 colouring pages out there for people to see. And when you're searching for a colouring book, it's super important to see what the interior is and what type of colouring pages it contains. And this product on Amazon does that amazingly well. You're not going to pick this up and be surprised with what's in there because you've pretty much seen like a quarter of what the pages are. So very well done on this book for showcasing and previewing what's inside the book. Scrolling down to the bestsellers rank, it's currently on Amazon.com the 318th most popular book on Amazon, which is absolutely incredible. It's #1 bestseller in multiple areas, and out of 821 ratings, it's got 4.6 out of 5. And this kind of shows on Amazon as well. Even though it looks like an absolutely incredible book, it's still got 2% of 1-star reviews. And that's because you can never please everyone. Also, you might get some people who are competitors hijacking your product and leaving 1-star reviews as well, which is really annoying. So my advice to you is if you get a 1-star review, just keep going. And if your product's good enough, like this one obviously is, you'll get those 5-star and 4-star reviews as well. Scrolling down, we can have a look at the reviews with images and see some of the colouring pages finished. And I think as soon as you start getting these, it really helps others to complete that purchase and increase the purchase rate when they click on the product. So here we go. We can just see a few examples of the colouring pages coloured in, and you can just see straight away that it's a really good quality product. At the top, you can see some of the most mentioned kind of words and phrases. And here we go. You've got things like super cute, highly recommended, great pictures. And then the negative part is the paper is thin, which is Amazon's paper. So there's not too much that you can do about that. If we click on back of the pages to find out a little bit more information about that, this person here says the back of the pages is black, which helps prevent bleeding through to the next colouring page. Highly recommended. And again, these pages were thick enough with the black back that the colour did not bleed through. So if you're creating adult colouring pages, I would always recommend to have them single-sided. But looking at this best-selling colouring book, what they've done is on the reverse of the colouring page, they've included a black back to that colouring page. That seems to help prevent bleed through. So if you're creating adult colouring books, I definitely recommend considering that because it will probably create a better customer experience. Okay, so that's me having a quick look at this incredible colouring book, which is an amazing bestseller. But on the thumbnail, I mentioned that it makes $30,000 a month. That's definitely a finger in the air estimate, but we're going to look into that now. So if we find their bestseller rank, which is 318, we can use a tool like Bookbird and enter their bestseller rank. And then from there, that will give us the amount of estimated book sales per day and per month. So if you manage to get your colouring book ranked #1 for colouring books for adults, there's every chance that you can hit these figures as well. Now that's easier said than done, and it's going to take a lot of advertising spend, a lot of marketing, and a lot of luck to reach anywhere near that #1 spot, especially for such a broad term. However, this one book has done it, and because of that, it seems to be getting around 318 sales a day, or 9,540 sales per month. If we click Add Royalty Calculator, we can set the number of pages, which is up at the top here, 106, and then the book price, which is $8.99. So this one book makes this publisher an estimated $1,000 every single day, or just above $30,000 every single month. Now that doesn't include ads and marketing, but if that book stays where it is for those organic searches, to make $30,000 from a single book on Amazon is absolutely incredible. That shows you that Amazon KDP is definitely not dead. Yes, there's a lot of competition, but it's not overly saturated if you do the research, if you create amazing products, and you can market them effectively. So that's my first in the series of looking at competition and seeing what other people are doing really, really well. In this series, I'll also start looking at some which don't perform quite as well and maybe look at what we can improve from those products. But if there's any products that you want me to review in this, any types of books as well, let me know in the comments below. Okay, that wraps this video up. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.